Hello Pisces, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So Pisces, this week I'm doing a little bit of, I call it like sort of a meditative pre-shuffle that before I go into doing your readings, I try to focus on what message is coming in. If I see something or hear something, I saw the Two of Pentacles and heard the Two of Pentacles. And then as I'm sort of focused on that for you energetically, it's almost like it came off like balancing, a little bit like justice, like balancing a couple of different possibilities here, balancing, I don't know, different truths. It just felt more like that than, like having a lot of things that you're dealing with in life and you got to kind of manage this and then redirect your energy over here and then come back over there. It was more, yeah, like, I would almost say a bit like the Two of Swords, but no, it was the Two of Pentacles. So I don't know if these are real tangible things in your life that you have to weigh it out somehow. So that was sort of like the pre-shuffle energy that I got from you. And then I'm going to go into this combo tarot that I've put together here. This is my Wizard's Tarot and my Steampunk Tarot, both from Barbara Moore. So I've combined those and I'm going to shuffle it out. And the first card that comes out is going to be the topic of your reading. The topic of your reading, and then we're going to get into it a little bit deeper, Pisces, my little Pisces friends. So let's see, what is the topic of discussion for Pisces? The card is getting away. The Sun, chasing your dreams. So maybe to chase your dreams, there's a couple of practical things that you have to weigh out here. And I don't know what that is though. It feels like a truth. So that could be like sort of clarifying this truth and going after it. That's a great card to talk about. Harnessing the power of the Sun. I just really see that the way she's got her wand, and it's almost as if like it's a tail end of the energy of the Sun coming in. So it really is its truth, it's clarity, it's kind of the seed that you were born with. Not hesitating. Oh, Pisces, you guys have been getting good readings. Like running this open field towards what it is that you want. Running this open field towards what it is that you want. So let's look at that. Well, the Devil is the first card that comes out. The Devil is in the details. Oh, I'm hearing that, but I'm hearing the Devil is in the details. Your cards, what a bloody mess. What the hell? Hey, y'all gotta behave here. Too many. There's too many that flew off. What is this? The World, the Nine of Cups, the Six of Pentacles. Look at this, she's weighing something on a scale. The Star, the Hanged Man, the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles. So there's some level of independent thought and creation here. But are we talking about that ending? So that's interesting. It might have been something you've been working on your own for quite some time. It can just be like your imagination. Independent thought. Oh, all right. There's a lot of interesting messages in this deck combination, but I'll tell you, it's almost like it's so full of energy. It can be a little difficult to manage. Jeez, look at this. Okay, I'll tell you what you have in a second here. But with the message, there's that World card again. King of Swords. Okay, this is weird. This is a really interesting message. The way it looks so far, it's almost like busy working on something. I mean, really busy, really focused on working with something, and it's intense. There's moments that can be kind of heated. It's sometimes you can kind of feel like precarious in this work situation, or I don't know what this work is. Okay, you got the Devil and the Eight of Pentacles, you got the Nine of Cups, King of Cups, Ten of Swords, the Death card, Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords. And then it's almost like you get a moment to yourself. You get a moment to yourself with the Nine of Cups and the King of Cups. And when you get that moment to yourself, you are in a completely different place. You transport yourself to somewhere else, and this is a good place. This is a good place. This is your happy place. And he's got like a cup of tea or coffee here. So I don't know, it could literally be when you get a break in your day. You know, I would even to say like just the heat, like this reminds me even of like a factory worker or someone who's like in a really noisy or hot environment, a noisy and hot environment, and working away, slaving at it. Yeah, slaving at it, because that's what these two look like with the Devil. And then you get your break, and it gets, okay, it's almost like your break isn't as long as it's supposed to be, and then it suddenly gets cut out. And Ten of Swords and the Death card. There's something that you have to deal with immediately. I know it's a really interesting reading. Like you're in your happy place. This is your time here. Having your tea, having your coffee. And he's sitting back in his chair with his feet up, and he's in his dreams. This person is in his dreams, and it's supported by the King of Cups. This dream is like, this comes from, I mean, what's your happy place? We're talking about the sun. So there's fantasy involved in this. There's all the things that are your emotions that nobody even here, the Devil and the Eight of Pentacles, would even know about or have any inkling of this part of you. It kind of feels very magical too. The way all of these cups are being supported with, it just looks like magic energy around them. Oh, something happens here. What the hell happens? It almost feels like a betrayal. Are you suddenly betrayed? Or is it something you have to cut out with this Death card? It almost feels like having to, and then you get the Page of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. This is, okay, it's just so odd. It's almost as if like someone hiding behind the curtain and you have to figure out the truth here. With the Two of Swords. The World and the King of Swords. See? Yes. That really pulls you out of the King of Swords. Or out of the King of Cups. Yes, all this sword comes in. All this sword comes in. Ten of Swords, Two of Swords. The Death card. She's holding a sickle. So, you know, like you could cut something with that. And this Page of Pentacles. She just feels sneaky somehow. It just feels sneaky, right? And associated with the Ten of Swords, which can be like backstabbing or betrayal. There's an immediate cycle switch here where somehow you're dealing with difficult, oppressive, hot, intense situations or environment, if that is your work. Or you might have that going on around you in your world, and you can even use your work as a way to distract you from that. You know, you could really love what you do, but maybe the environment is not always the best, or there's people around you that could be kind of toxic or controlling or manipulative. But because she's also really, really focused on what she's doing, really focused here. And then you just get your coffee break, and it's a good place to be. You know, it's too, because the King of Cups is holding, he's got a cigar and he's got a glass of wine. But it's almost as if to say, well, you're really only allowed to have a coffee, but you're sitting here imagining having a cigar, a glass of wine, and you're just transported to somewhere else. And this is almost like a rude awakening. Ten of Swords, Death card. And then who is this Page of Pentacles? What is this? Like you have to figure out some sort of a truth here. But you can't, you have to be completely unbiased. You have to be completely unbiased. I'm really getting that with her with the blindfold on. don't know what this is. I don't know what y'all doing. But your chill time got like dramatically shifted here. The Devil and the Eight of Pentacles. The Devil and the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands. The Devil and the Eight of Pentacles. The Two of Cups. Let me pull everything out here and really understand what this is. The Nine of Cups and the King of Cups. The Nine of Cups and the King of Cups. You have the Ten of Wands and the Empress. Wow, this is like a really heavy fantasy. The Ten of Wands and the Empress. Okay, so this is sort of like leaving, it almost feels like leaving all your burdens behind in this fantasy realm that you step into. And there's nothing else there but your feelings and your emotions, and it's such a great place. You leave all the heavy stuff behind you. Maybe you fantasize about someone. Maybe you fantasize about something for yourself. Maybe it's something for yourself with something you create with someone. There's Two of Cups. I'm still not quite getting that with the Queen of Wands. I could even say, well, yeah. Because I would almost link this Two of Cups with the Queen of Wands, perhaps over here in the fantasy realm. But the Devil and the Eight of Pentacles, like this almost feels like, well, you better do this or else you're going into the... Listen, I got control of you. I've got you by the strings here. If you don't do what you have to do, you're going into the furnace. So, you know, it's... And with the Eight of Pentacles, well, do it. It keeps you from your dream. It keeps you from your dream or your fantasy. The Ten of Swords and the Death card. The Ten of Swords and the Death card. There's that Page of Pentacles again. The Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, it certainly is a shift. It's a shift. It's a shift. I'm surprised I don't see the Tower card, to be honest, just by the dramatic changes in energy that's going on here. But you know, I would even describe the readings I've been doing for you lately are like dramatic changes in energy. Another way that I could see this too is if you could be, or because this is a bit like a timeline too, right? You could have been somewhere that you were like a slave to this job. And with the Queen of Wands and the Two of Cups, you know that you have a greater value. You know that there's more to you than this. You fantasized about it. It took you out of this reality that you had to be in. And then that ended, like it ended. So are you on the way to achieving this dream? That fantasy ended, perhaps because the environment that you were in ended. And this Page of Pentacles now in this timeline scenario is also feeling like, well, now you have to learn new things. You've got it twice here. So have you evacuated yourself from... Evacuated yourself. Such a dramatic statement. Have you left? Maybe it was like, I have to evacuate, Cindy. Let's just go now. Are you indecisive? You know what it always reminds me of too? It's like somebody who, like if this is your job and you left it and the only way you got through it was fantasizing about better things and knowing that you could achieve better things. You've ended that. Your Page of Pentacles, like, okay, so maybe you haven't even started something new, or you're educating yourself about something. You're learning something new here. This is a big shift for you. But you still don't have all the information that you need to be able to move forward. But you are chasing your dream. You're in the process of chasing your dream. Yeah, your readings have been really moving towards a positive light in the last few weeks. And I do feel like the last little while, last couple of years, every time I came into the Pisces, there was often something like somebody was betraying you or... Okay, so Page of Pentacles. What is this that you're learning? You're learning about betrayals. How to trust people and not to trust people. That's interesting. And your Page of Pentacles. Like, are you perhaps in a new environment where you're trying to learn who you can trust and who you can't trust? With the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords. Try not to be biased. The Ace of Wands. This is almost as if this feels pretty good. It feels pretty exciting, but you don't want to let your head get ahead of itself here. You don't, yeah. It feels pretty good. It feels pretty exciting, but you don't want to get ahead of yourself. The Sun, this is chasing the dream here. Ooh, look at you switching. You got the Eight of Swords. Look at that. Not being able to move. Trapped. I would say that with the Devil in the Eight of Pentacles, perhaps, right? And then you have the Fool card. Nothing is holding you back. Nothing is stopping you from going after your dreams. That is a huge switch. But there's caution. I see cautious energy here. This is very cautious energy. Who can you trust and who can't you trust? This Page of Pentacles, like, really at first, looks even themselves suspicious. Just the way she's like coming behind and the way the shadow is falling on her. But I think it's she or he are suspicious. And with this Two of Swords, it does feel as though a bit of a balancing act. You are engaged in a bit of a balancing act here. The moon is right above her head. So big time relying on your intuition. And I would say that too with the Ace of Wands is a very intuitive. That's like a download card for me. Like creative spark, something that ignites you. Whereas I would think the Ace of Swords too, if I wanted to look at it as a download card as well, it would almost be something just all of a sudden being so factual, you can't deny it. You just know the truth where you really don't know the truth yet about something. It could be somewhere that you're headed, something that you're creating for yourself, something that you're learning. You're definitely learning about who to trust and not to trust. And you're at some sort of a point here where perhaps it feels equal on either side with information that you were able to gather. But with the blindfold, there's nothing else that you can know. So you have to rely on your intuition. Let's look at this, the World and the King of Swords. Did a cycle end with the King of Swords? Is that what this was? I say was. Or maybe some of you are involved in something that you work at right now where you feel trapped, you feel manipulated, you feel like if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get thrown into the furnace. And then when you have the opportunity, you steal a moment and you take yourself somewhere else. That just sounds so Pisces right there. Like, it's just incredible how Pisces that sounds. And with all this sword energy and betrayal and endings, there's something with the King of Swords. It's kind of reminding me a bit of, so the latest thing that I'm watching on Netflix. I was hesitant to do it because I watched Breaking Bad, which there's some shows that are just, oh, you watch them and you're like, these people just don't learn. But yet the character development is so good and the storylines and the acting, it's like, oh, it's hard to find like all of those combinations in one thing sometimes. So I watched that whole series of Breaking Bad. And so I'm watching Better Call Saul. And I was hesitant to because I thought, I don't really want to watch anything with drug dealing and this and that. And anyways, I started watching it, and I, again, like, massively surprised at how good this was, and it wasn't at all what I expected. And it's interesting because we're talking about, like, lawyers, and there's a brother relationship here, with two main characters. And it's just so interesting how there can be, like, so someone can come off as having a moral high ground based on the law. So because somebody follows the law to a T and without deviating from the line in any way, that they can come off as having a moral high ground. And I'm only bringing this up because you have the devil and you have some shit going on here that's not very nice. But when it really comes to morality, this person sucks at it. I'm not going to give details about which brother, but it's just, there's a difference between real morals and, like, man-made written morals. And it's interesting that you have the World card here, and that is just coming up for me with this King of Swords. Because the King of Swords, too, is often represented as someone who is intellectually gifted as well. And this person could be intellectually gifted because they're just naturally really intelligent. They have very clear thinking. Or this person is intellectually gifted because they are so well educated. And too, like, you can meet people that are so well educated, but when it comes to social intelligence, there's a great lack there. And that's a little bit what I see playing out in this Netflix. Well, I guess it's not. I guess it was on TV. I don't have cable or anything. I don't know. Yeah. So let's see. The World. You got the World. Bye-bye. 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 I just want to say that. It's like, bye-bye. The King of Swords. Who was this? Was this a boss? Because it's something that ended. The Four of Cups. This is how I would describe the one brother. And he develops a neurotic problem. Definitely it's in his head. It's proven at some point. Definitely a neurotic problem. Eventually becomes apparent based on some sort of, it seemed to be triggered by a huge emotional event in his life that he was not capable of dealing with. He's the King of Swords, and only that, he is not an emperor. So this is such an interesting reading, Pisces, because you have ended something here, bye-bye, with this, perhaps dealing with someone who would come off as having a moral high ground, but really their moral ground was pretty sad. Yeah, I like that. So intriguing. What's at the bottom now? The Five of Wands, the Eight of Wands. It also, you know, this could be a bit of, oh my goodness, these, excuse me. This comes off as a bit of naysayer energy with the artwork in these combination with the Five of Wands and Eight of Wands. Usually it's about, you know, maybe getting, and it could still be, just the basic facts of tarot, is getting through some sort of conflict, disagreement, and creating communication and movement in that. But what I want to say too is, just because we're talking about some sort of pretense here, is there might have been like naysayers in your life, and they may have even made it difficult for you to move forward beyond the naysay that they had for you. Because usually in the Eight of Wands, all the wands are going in the same direction, where this card is very unique. It's in a tornado and they're all scattered. So you may have had to kind of do your best when not given the best to work with. And maybe that was in the past, because that's an underline. So, wow, really interesting. I'm excited to go see what happens in extended. In the extended, I'm going to continue to pull cards and see where this goes. And try not to knock anything over. Thank you very much, Pisces. So intriguing. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.